My name is Linda Russack Tobin, and I was at school from 1957 until 1959 is when I graduated. So I came for my junior and senior years. I'd never been, I don't think, out of Ohio practically. I had to study, and I was not used to doing that. So it was really enlightening for me to come to this school where I loved. Yeah, I remember learning literature that I had never read so much, and it was really interesting. Other things were meeting girls that were unlike anybody I had ever met before. So that was a little difficult at first because I was in an environment that was so different from my own environment at home. But in the end, of course, that's all broadening. When I came to school the first weekend, it was Sunday morning, and they said, well, we're all going to church. And I said, but I don't go to church because I'm Jewish. And Miss Whitaker said, you go to church. So I said, well, I think I better call home and go back to Ohio. And then I couldn't reach, there was one payphone in the classroom building up on the second floor. You had to have quarters and you had to put them in, and then I think I had to call collect. I didn't have money, and I tried to reach my parents and I couldn't. So I ended up staying another week, and then another week, and then another week, until I really got used to it. I think my father wrote to Miss Whitaker. I found actually a letter that she wrote that it just wasn't feasible to go to synagogue. And so the good part is that I went to different churches, different weeks, and I count that as one of the most valuable parts of my education. I went to the Polish Catholic Church that people went to, and the Unitarian Church sometimes, congregational, and then to Christian Science Sunday School with Amherst and Mount Holyoke students. And it was really, that was a very valuable experience. I mean, we had to wear stockings to dinner. So when we would go back and we had to change for dinner, nobody wanted to put on garter belts. There weren't pantyhose in those days. And so we would roll up, we would put on stockings to our knees, under our knees, and roll them up and tie them in, kind of like washerwomen did. Like you would see old pictures of people with like these rolled up stockings to their knees. So that's what we all did before, so that we would be acceptable for dinner. I hung this in a wardrobe that's been stored away for, I guess, 68 years. And this is the blazer that we all wore. And it's a school blazer. I mean, it's still, I could still put it on. And this was our kind of like a sports logo. And then people would get chevrons for doing certain kinds of sports activities. I was not in sports I was not very good at sports. So I became a cheerleader. And other people I've talked to didn't even remember that there ever were cheerleaders at Northampton School for Girls. And I just found this picture in here. I didn't even remember I had it. But this was our cheerleading group from 1959, 58, 1957, 58 cheerleading. Was great. So these would have been, I guess, for cheerleading, because I didn't really get awards for sports.
Is it like
we didn't wear it every day, but we would wear it, I guess, for any official occasion that had to do with Northampton, which would be either internal, like at school, if it was something. I mean, I don't think we wore it even in the morning to chapel. But we did wear them frequently. All the pictures in these, well, a lot of the pictures in the books, the yearbooks, which was called, they were Lormeaux was the name, and they're all with people, you know, we all had our jackets on then, or blazers, that's what they were. Yeah. I remember I tried archery and I loved that. And we all had to do something about, I remember trying out lacrosse, so I kind of knew what that felt. It's not done like lacrosse is now. It was very gentle in comparison. And, I tried out field hockey, but I never really did it very much. There it is, turned right to it. Here's one. Yeah, I had like whatever they were called, short, like this, short haircuts. So here, you can see we wore our blazers. These all have blazers on, athletics and all the different activities. Not the sports, of course. One thing that was funny that one other person remembered, and that was like in the spring, we used to walk out on this dike, and if you went down in the fields where the sports fields were, I guess, we used to lie there in the sun to get a suntan, and we would hold up these kind of tinfoil reflectors to get a really good suntan. That was like a very different kind of activity. I don't know if you had to hide that or not, but that was something I just remembered when I came here. If you saw a boy, it was under watchful eyes in the parlor on Sunday afternoon, probably between 3 and 3:15. I don't know. There were all kinds of things that were rules. I actually have a rule book. I know we couldn't smoke. We couldn't wear lipstick. We had allowances. I think my allowance was like 50 cents or something. It was really a little bit. And then we could walk into town on Saturdays and go to Friendly's and get like ice cream. Angelus is the first one. Then it says Big Sister, Little Sister Party, Old Girl and New Girl Parties, Faculty-sponsored picnic, Council-sponsored picnic, Bazaar, Christmas banquet. That was really amazing. Christmas concert, Christmas vespers, school birthday party, play with Williston, ski weekend, class competitive plays, Hartford Festival, parents weekend, operetta every alternative year with Williston, faculty play, pageant, Phoenix night, baccalaureate, concert, step sing, council investiture, and graduation. Those were the traditions listed under traditions. I do remember that there was a Christmas banquet, and that was really something very different than I had ever experienced. And they actually, what I remember, and I don't know if this is, I remember a huge pig with an apple in its mouth, and it was like we sang wassail songs, and we dressed up. I think I was a monk, and people were in costumes like they would have been in the Middle Ages, I guess, for these Christmas banquets then. And they really reenacted this whole event, and it was a dinner. And it was outside of school. I'm not sure where it was held, but I remember we went somewhere, and it was this amazing, elaborate production. I remember the academics, and I remember the teachers, and then I remember the students and people that I became friendly with. Last night's talk by Paula Monopoli was extraordinary, and I learned from that how Northampton School for Girls interfaced with what was going on with the women's movement, and it made the whole experience much more meaningful to me in a way that I had never thought about before. Going forward, I will take that back, that we were really given a gift of becoming more independent women in ways that I hadn't understood until she talked about that